Those of you who don't know about the Liam man, like, wow, versatility in across drum and bass roots, reggae, sound system, bass culture.
That's it.
Podcast, 19 years podcast. Even hear him say that on my podcast, I'm like, my guy, come on.
It's a long time. Now, I've been doing my podcast is Reggae Roots Bass, and I started at university. And yeah, because I'm from sort of in between Nottingham and Derby, and it was like it's all villages, like a bit like Emmerdale.
Yeah.
And shout out, Mum. Yeah. And there's not a lot going on. So when I went to university, I got the opportunity to start student radio, and I was like, Leeds is very house and techno and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna
gatecrashery and all that.
Exactly, yeah. And I was just like, well, let's do something different, and it just rocketed. And yeah, this is next year will be the 10 years of it, and that's insane.
That's insane. What are you going to do for your 10 years? I mean, this crosses my mind, my wildest dreams. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. It's going to be like bells and whistles, you know, like the grandiose moment, you know, at the end of Star Wars or something.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been doing yours?
3.5 years.
It's just, but like you'll appreciate it, and most podcasters and radio presenters and that kind of like, even at 3.5 years, you do go through that period of like, does anyone still care? Does people listen? Am I doing the right movements? Because technology, like from the point in which I started doing my little radio show, where no one knew who I was, and I'd gone from like having no opportunities with music because there was just nothing where I lived to all this equipment and studios. You kind of like, how do you diversify? And like we were talking just briefly before we come on about things like TikTok and how technology just you can't keep up with it as well. But mate, your podcast is sick.
Oh, my guy. And I'm coming on yours. I'm coming on your show.
Yeah, sort of FM. Yeah, hold tight.
I'm definitely going to yeah. Bro, like, when I think about the kind of, the trail of destruction that you're leading with, doing DJ gigs, first and foremost, that the bread and butter stuff, through to doing podcasts, radio shows, booking nights, you know, connecting with the artists. I mean, you know, your DNA in the whole grand scheme of things, it really does lean to a scene operator.
I like that.
Hey!
I like that. That's going on LinkedIn tomorrow. Scene operator.
Scene operator.
It's cool. I think it's like for me, and I have no problem even talking about it, is the fact that I hit a mental brick wall, and I moved to London about 3 years ago now, and I was like, because the opportunity is down here. You know what it's like. You know, media and people meeting like yourself and that. Like it wouldn't be possible if I was still living up north. It's not impossible, but it's a lot harder. And
I guess you're kind of staggering yourself by about 6 months.
That's exactly it. Yeah, you're right. So, and then obviously you've got to move to London's expensive. So then you've kind of got to get the day job's got to move and all that. So then obviously your podcasting, your passion and like this, it takes a hit. And it's just been really cool to kind of meet new people and network. And it is a bit of a slog, but it does pay off. And now it's like, to be honest with you, after 3 years, only just now starting to reap them sort of rewards of going to meet people, putting yourself in them situations, and even like this now, like this is phenomenal for me. This is to sit with you.
Likewise,
phenomenal.
brother. Likewise.
So yeah, it's wicked. God. So yeah, so it's amazing. Now it's a long game. It's a long game,
and it's one where. Because this is what a lot of people are just going to be dumbfounded with. Of course, we've already established that to be closer to where the action is the key. But a lot of people, you know, life happens, shit happens, and they'll be watching this thinking, "Oh, like, so what? My guy just came around to the podcast. Hold on a minute. So what? How did he get into the right places at the right time? How did that happen? How did synergy allow for you to drop yourself into out of town, into city?" I have the majority of answers, but each story's different, and I think it's really important because to a lot of people, it's like, "Yo, how did he ever do that? How do you do that? How do you do it?"
For me, like in terms of the DJing side, like if I would probably not now, maybe a little bit more advanced, but in terms of at the time and for years, I'm just a bar DJ, and it was kind of like many millions of people, whether you're in Newcastle, Liverpool, Cornwall, whatever, right? And it's kind of like, for me, because of my sort of specialism, if you will, was reggae, I just identified that who are the people that are not, you know, you look at sort of Fabric and that, they're not really going to be that interested. So it was just a matter of pinpointing who was doing bits, who shared the same passion, and like for me, Rompers Reggae Shack approached me whilst I was in Leeds at uni, and they were doing lots of events and stuff. So having spoken to James, he opened many doors for me because he said, well, you know, come down to Hackney, I do this thing and play. And I made sure that night, and from then onwards, I got every single phone number I could possibly get. And then from there, you move on. And Navi and Boomer, for example, a perfect example.
Hold tight, Navi. Boomer, hold tight,
legends
Boomer.
who even responsible for this. Like, them guys were just there. And then it's like you get their number. And look, it's quite a cliche because people say, like, oh, you just need to knock on every door. And you know what? You don't. Just be clever. Be smart. Like, just literally pinpoint who, if you're a hip-hop DJ and you want to get more gigs in London, identify what's going on. Like, don't just go to Ministry of Sound. Like, look at the grassroots and then grow. Just vocally kind of sell yourself as like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm involved with, and this is my passion. Because you'll see it, like people who want to come play out the box stuff, they'll be like, it's not just, hi, here's my mix, because that bores me. It's like, this is what I'm about, this is the equipment I've made, it's been wicked, and it's like, cool, and I'll put you on a lineup and I'll help you. That's the way that I've kind of manoeuvred it. And then in terms of the events, it was just do the day job, raise that funds, and then eventually work with people like Hootenanny and great venues who are willing to empower people, and that's what it's about, man. Yeah,
it is, and that's some really valid bits of techers in there for those of you who are listening deep enough. When you say grassroots, these people, and I'd certainly put Navigator and David Boomer in with that elite group of people that not only are on their game, they're 9-to-5ers, they work, you know, they're industrious and they work, but they're also open-minded, and they're also a giving group of people that will embrace somebody that with the right energy and the right attitude, you're in. Yeah. But you, like you say, you've got to have a mission brief. If you don't have something that it's not a special brief, but knowing what you want to do and what you want to achieve and be sure of it, that's really the ticket, right?
You don't need a massive CV. You don't need to be like, I'm making music, I've played this, I've played that. Like, don't get me wrong, like every single press kit in the world, like you've got one, I've got one, it's kind of I've done this, and it's all your sort of top achievements for things. But there's probably a lot of people watching this who could be in their mid-30s and like, I've missed a boat. You haven't. Nah. You haven't. You genuinely haven't. Like, people that are coming in, especially playing reggae dancers and that, there's people that I love, like people like Sue Hahn. Like, Sue's like 60, and she's playing in Ibiza. And she didn't even start doing this till she was in her mid-50s. And, like, she's absolutely smashing it. And please, you know, if you're watching this, like, don't feel the boat is past. Just think smart. And there is opportunities. Go to open deck nights. Go and do this, you know. Like, you're an artist yourself. Like, when you start out, like, obviously we're in different realms of kind of music and stuff, but you do go to open mic nights, you do try them things. You know, a lot of artists that, especially MCs that I've spoken to, which I found was really interesting, is like, you would assume they sit in their bedroom all the time writing bars. They actually go to comedy nights.
Do they?
They go and do like 50, they'll go and try and get like anything from like 3 minutes to 50, just in pubs, and they'll just try stand up and they build that kind of little mic thing.
Oh, that is so fucking cool.
Because like, if it goes tits up when you're MCing, you can bring it round. Yeah. You know, it's a really unique skill. So just little things, man. It's just throw yourself out there.
I can totally relate to that. There's with beatboxing, there is a one-man band vibe to it. And if you're a comedian, you're literally on your ones. Yeah. So I do relate with that. When you said that, I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm normally the fullback when the DJ breaks, you know. Quick, get the beatbox guy on, quick.
At least the Oggy style, you'd be right.
Yeah, totally cool response. Was it Cliff Richard, tennis? I can't remember what year that was, you know, started freestyling.
No, mate, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. And I think this COVID is, obviously, it sucked for everybody. It sucked for artists, independents in the industry. My biggest advice is, if you've had a passion for putting on an event, playing, DJing, learning music, or MCing, whatever you want to do, now is the perfect time, because the big boys are on their arse. A lot of them. Like, so you're now about to see literally a burst of new promoters, new ideas, and
everything changed.
Higher fees have gone from £1,000 to 150. Like, this is the perfect time. If you've got that disposable cash, you've got 5 mates who are interested, you will find the right venues in your city to do something. Yeah. If it goes belly up, we've all done it. We've all played to no one. We've all DJ'd on top of kitchen sinks in student flat. We've done it. We've done it. Like, go and have fun with it. Is my biggest thing.
That's so sick. Yeah. Liam is my new friend.
The operator is talking. So.